It's time for another experiment. So, rather recently, I've become aware of one of the underlying beliefs that probably contribute to this experience of social anxiety. And this belief is almost too obvious in hindsight. It is, I am the odd one out, right? And another one that's, I guess, common for me is that I am weird because I feel weird. So it's emotional reasoning. And yeah, I've been wondering what would happen if, for some reason, I found a way to tell other people that this is actually what I'm thinking or feeling in this situation. Because the rational part of my mind knows that those beliefs are false, But nonetheless, there's like a secondary layer to all of this where I feel now ashamed for having those thoughts in the first place. So I feel weird, and then I feel weird about feeling weird because I think, oh, I'm the only one who feels this way. Or I feel like the odd one out, and then I feel like, okay, I'm the odd one out because I feel like I'm the only one who feels like he's the odd one out, right? And so it gets into this meta reinforcing structure. And what I thought I would do is to create those cards where I've written out those statements. And what I intend to do is basically to position myself somewhere in public and hold these statements in front of myself so other people can basically see what I'm thinking in this very moment. And I don't know what's going to happen. Will people react with curiosity, with I don't know, being puzzled? Will they confront me as to why I'm holding out those signs? Probably. I have no idea what will happen. But I don't know if anyone has done this kind of thing before, and I'm just too curious to find it out. Good morning, dear friends. Today is the day. I have my 2 signs with me. But before I'm going to actually do that, I'm doing some preparation exercises to warm up, so to speak. For instance, I already asked some people for directions. I walked around with open shoelaces until someone pointed it out to me. The idea is that I'm trying to work myself up to that point where I guess I have enough momentum going that I can actually pull this off. So we'll see how that goes later on.
So I'm sorry. So I'm continuing the process of embarrassing myself in public. Now I'm trying to do like a stick figure, I guess, move in public. I guess just standing there like arms out and.
By the way, I bought a new shirt here. I also asked someone to record this video for me. It's about 90 seconds long, but I'm just gonna fast forward. Here I positioned myself in a park. I thought it would be a good place to get started, also for the camera. But there wasn't much going on. I stood there for about 5 to 10 minutes. I'm going to fast forward again.
Oh, well, there's nothing really going on here in this park. I think I need to go somewhere else.
Drehst du Nichols, Bro, ja?
Ja, ich mache ein Video. So ein soziales Experiment.
The thing was that the funny thing was that immediately after I started the video, someone started talking with me, and then this group of kids came up and they started talking to me and asked me all these questions. Why I was doing the thing that I was doing, and it was an interesting conversation with those kids, ages 7 to 10. Yeah, did not expect that.
Alright, so let me now try the same experiment, but on a much more busy place, as you can see. But I don't think I can record it, but I'll talk about it afterwards. So as you can see, I'm holding the sign now. Been holding it for about 5 minutes now. So far, pretty much no big reactions actually, but I do feel weird, obviously. So I stood on the street now for what must have been another 20 minutes at least. Out of all the experiments that I have done so far, this one definitely was the most interesting one, because man, I had people coming up to me. So first of all, most people, they just walked by or gave me some strange looks. So you can imagine it was a really busy street, but nonetheless, I think up to 5 people came up to me. And the last one, he was such a nice guy, but he looked like a real punk. I mean, he had this big chain here, he had tattoos all over, he had piercings in his face. Yeah, to everyone else he probably looked really dangerous. But then he came up to me and told me that he really understood that, and he was so kind to me. I mean, he offered me something to eat, he offered me something to drink. He talked about his own life story, his own struggles, and I'm just so surprised actually. This was the person you would least expect to care about you, and it was the nicest experience I had since a long time. Just someone really caring about me, coming up to me, saying that he thinks it's really cool what I'm doing. And there were other people who came up to me and asked me if I was alright. So apparently if you write out a sign which says I feel weird, people can interpret this to mean a variety of things, which I did not consider beforehand. It could mean, for instance, that I'm feeling sick or I'm feeling depressed. So when people came up to me, I sort of explained why I was doing what I was doing, because it wasn't obvious to people. And I tried to explain sort of the concept of exposure therapy and stuff like that. And yeah, once I explained it to people, they thought it was a courageous idea, basically. They also really confronted me about why I'm afraid of people, almost as if I had to sort of justify myself, or rather as if asking like, hey, why are you afraid? There's nothing really to be afraid of. I mean, of course there are people who can hurt you, but you're like a big, strong guy, you know? And at that moment I felt like, or am I really like this big, strong guy? Because inside I not necessarily feel like that all the time. And then other people asked me like, so why are you afraid of people? And I said, well, it's because of things that happened in my past. I was bullied at school and stuff like that. And I haven't really told anyone. And now that I said it, it just felt different. It felt a bit more silly, like, hey, I have outgrown that by this point, and I'm bigger now, I'm stronger now, and I can deal with that stuff. So all in all, today I made some big progress in overcoming social anxiety. Yeah, it was really interesting experiment after all.